I randomly discovered that Home Movies, your TV show it's sort of like a Criterion Collection in the closet type thing with wine, which I find is cool. Like, how did that come about?
I used to work for Canal Plus
Okay.
a long time, and I'm still working time to time to Canal Plus. And Canal Plus Belgium became BTV.
Okay.
And at one point there is no cinema show anymore, and they asked me to think about something. And they say, well, think about something. We don't have any money, but let's do something. And finally, I get the idea of making the show with my friend, the director and the director of the show, Didier. And we had the idea to make the show in my apartment, my own apartment, and to make something very cozy and to give the ability to director or film producer or actors to talk, to have the freedom to talk. And as a cinephile, pathological cinephile, it's a great opportunity to me and now it's been a few years, so when they come in promotion in Europe or in Belgium, they stop to my place. And,
yeah, it's a complete break from what we're doing right now, hotel rooms and stuff like that.
It's good to have them, and it's probably 1 hour talk, and then after they read it a little bit. But for example, the talk with Guillermo del Toro was very long, and they put the long version and the short version.
Okay.
And the long version, I have to say, is fantastic because it explains a lot of stuff about the different subject and topic, and it's very, it's very inspiring. It's very inspiring.
That's a great great segue between films, is what I'm thinking. It's like the best job in between jobs in a way.
Yeah, well, it's fantastic to talk about cinema with people who actually made films, because also the conversation is not one journalist to a director, it's a director to a director. So there's a kind of clicking immediatly. There's a kind of connection.
Essential understanding.
Yes, and they know it, and they understand that also that, of course, I'm in love deeply with cinema, and it's talking about them, what they had to face, the misery of making films, and the joy. I love it. I love doing it.
For Fantine's Gloria character, so we have these episodes where her character is physically being restrained, and she lashes out with hurling screams and screeches, and yet the more traumatizing element for this character, for me, is the shot where she's she's aware of her jealousy and her limitations of ownership in terms of the character that's sort of like embraced her as a person. And there's one sequence where her stare, it's in the boat, is something that is layered and complex, and so I was wondering how, seeing that she's so young, how do you get to a point where it goes from very physical manifestations to then very subdued, but then very transient and very loaded looks into the camera? How does that dialogue exist between actor and director?
It was easy, I have to say. It was very easy, especially with Fantine and Thomas. It was probably my most easiest film to make, my easiest shooting. I choose them very carefully, cautiously. Mm-hmm. At the moment I've chosen them, I establish a very strong relationship with them based on mutual trust. Mm-hmm. And they completely abandoned. They sold in a way, to me. I establish a very strong relationship, but I also make them to be responsible to their own character.
Yeah.
So I talk to them just like adults. And I think they love it, and I think they feel very concerned about every aspect of the movie building. You know,
Yeah.
we were very connected, and so you know, during the shoot, during every takes, I'm very close to the actors. I'm just there, you know. They shoot, and I'm talk to them, and I push them, especially with Fantine. Fantine is a little bit more trained. She's a little bit more. She's more actress in a way, and not in a bad way,
But I mean, there's a bit more finesse, maybe.
yeah, but she's a little bit more. She has a little bit more experience.
Yeah.
And she worked with Michael Haneke, and
Yeah.
you know, she has a great sense of maturity. She's a very mature young woman, in a way. So you can build with her. She's more malleable. You can bring her in a very, you can push her in a very dark corner, and she will completely abandon herself to that corner, and I need to be there after to recover and to protect her and to go back to reality. Thomas is pure. It's just a pure diamond. I never seen that. It's just here and now. And believe me or not, when we going through scenes and it doesn't work, it's because it's not well written. It's just because him is always perfect. He's always right. Not perfect, right. He's right. His feeling, his emotion is always right. And if the scene doesn't work, it was my balise. It was immediately when something was wrong, I said, well, that's not well written. Let's do it another way. Thomas has that great ability to listen. It's just like a sponge. You know,
Yeah.
he can listen. He's a sponge. The first time I meet him, I said to him, well, how are you gonna do? It's a very complex part. He said, well, it's gonna be easy. I just have to listen.
Yeah.
It's true, you know, he just said that. So it was quite easy. Believe me or not, it was super easy. I pushed them, I worked, we had a lot of fun. I thought it's gonna be, it will be terrible because we had a lot of location, boat, rain, physical, mud, you know, and they had fun. It was summertime. My own kids, they the same age than them, were on the set. There was just a bunch.
Well,
Summer camp.
See, the way I relate to those characters, especially is Paul, as I actually think, I wrote that he's the scarier character of the two. The reason being is that is while one sort of like is informed by jealousy, and that's where flourishes of the character are more severe. I think for Paul is that obsessiveness, the fact that love at that stage is actually very brutal, and that's something that you mentioned in press before.
Probably, but you know, for me, it was a journey of a kind of a mystical character, just like Saul on his way to Damas, you know, or Saint Jean de la Croix or Thérèse d'Avila, being struck by light, being struck by faith, being struck by a divine emotion who transcend you, and we all had to face that at one point. We forget about it, or we try to recover that and not succeed to recover that. And I had the idea that maybe that young boy who is an innocent is based on Dostoevsky, Prince Mishkin, idiot character in a way, you know, to have an innocent, a very simple boy, a sponge, an angel, and who face at one point, who's struck by light, struck by love, and try to do everything, try to give everything, try to listen to her, try to protect her, but he has those attacks. He has that. He doesn't know how to handle her, and at one point there is a doubt. There is something, the doubt. How can I do? Maybe I have to go back to my mother. Maybe I have to go back to my life. Maybe I'm not good enough. And finally, he decide to be contaminated by love, by crazy, by whatever, and it brings him to another level. It brings him to something bigger than him. So the transcendence is complete at that point. And that idea, that elegy, that because the film is articulate just like an elegy, was beautiful to me.
Mm-hmm.
Was have that idea and try to articulate that in film. I thought it was beautiful. The risk was the gesture, the artistic gesture was, you know, it brings me to a fever state of passion. Mm-hmm. And I thought it could be a beautiful film. So, and the kids helped me to that. I don't say, once again, I don't say I succeed, but at least I take the risk.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking back to The Ordeal. I was thinking back to Alleluia. And I think this is the first time that you and Manu employ 16 millimeter?
No, always.
So it's in those two films, yes. I know it's shot on film, but it's 16 on both of those, right?
Vignan was on 16 too.
Okay.
No, I used 35 on my bad films, my terrible films.
So I know the language of shooting outdoors it's so much part of the DNA of your films. I think that's where you excel, because of this idea of a landscape being much more than just a landscape.
Because Manu and I have a little bit more experience. Mm-hmm. We were chasing the light, and of course we didn't have the budget of a Terrence Malick film, so we had to be very focused and very organized for chasing the light. So we were chasing the light at a specific time of the day, of course, and trying to find the magic of the grace during those very short periods. But not to make something pretty, because I fight pretty. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be pretty. Mm-hmm. I don't care about being pretty. The landscape have to be able to be a representation of the state of mind of the kids, or their goal, or their loneliness, or the love affair. Is for me, it's a season movie. The love, it's a season. You have a springtime, you have the summer, you have the fall, and you have the winter. So so it was very peculiar the way we tried to build a bridge between the kids, where they are at the moment of the film, and the landscape, the environment. So we always, and of course we shot a lot of stuff, and during the editing room with my editor, it was a very hard work. Well, it's more same location, same time. You need to do le lieu de temps et d'action. Action, so there is 3
time,
unities.
space.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's more cerebral, I have to say.
Okay.
More tight. It's very risky for me.
Because it feels, I get a sense that it might be a contained piece. And
what do you mean by contained?
Contained meaning like limited locations?
Yes, only one location.
Okay, so
there is one location. Well, the outdoor is fantastic, and the house is stunning. Mm-hmm. And we need to have the characters. Well, for now I'm looking for, I'm exploring a lot of stuff. I don't know exactly. I have some idea how to articulate that. I've made my board. I found the location. We're working on it. But I need to push something.
Okay.
In the same intimacy, in a way, because I don't want to go back. Of course, I want to go back maybe to grotesque and stuff like that. But I want to explore intimacy in a way. Mm-hmm. I want to explore something more fragile. I want to go deeper.
Great.
At least try.
Hey, this is Eric from IONCINEMA.com. If you want to support us, subscribe below. For more reviews, interviews, film festival coverage from Sundance, Cannes, Toronto, you want to check out these guys on this side.